I'm going to get started looking at this first one that indicates a network connectivity problem. So there's a particular IP address that can't connect to right now, and we're going to figure out why and then fix it. Okay, so let's get started with that one. And I'll just check on a few things to get started here. For example, let's see what my current network configuration looks like. Okay, I see that I'm in the same network as the IP I'm trying to connect to, and I can tell that by my IP address and the net mask I have here. So let's just verify that the problem actually does exist. That's usually a good place to get started. And so I'm going to try to at least send a ping to this remote address and see what's going on there. Okay, so it comes back operation not permitted, and that doesn't sound good. Let's figure out what else might be the problem. Off the top of my head, I might check, for example, the routing table. And here's one way, a couple of different ways to look at the routing table. And it looks like I said, this should be on my local network. I shouldn't even have to actually go through a gateway. And so the question is, why aren't these pings going through? Now, I've had a couple of really smart guys who suggested maybe they know of a really obscure sort of setting that could be affecting this, and let's see if that setting is affecting this. Okay, one value you might look at is here in the proc file system under the syscontrol facility in a directory called net IPv4, and there's a value called ICMP echo ignore all. Okay, that value, two things. First of all, we see that value is not even turned on, and secondly, it turns out that would not have the effect that we're seeing here. That would prevent somebody from getting a ping response from this machine, but it has no effect on outgoing pings. So that does not seem to be the case. My next instinct would be to check, okay, well, how about software firewall, perhaps active on my local machine? Maybe that's blocking outgoing packets. So I'm going to look at my software firewall with the iptables command. Okay, so there's iptables -L-N-V, which is a good way to, one way at least, to summarize the rules in effect here. And I see a couple of things, and then one thing particularly jumps out at me. So right away, I see that the input, forward, and output chains all have a default policy of accept. And that's good. That'll generally let things go through, but there is an actual rule in effect here that's blocking my outgoing packets. And in fact, it's specifically blocking the destination I'm trying to get through, because for the IP address in question, there's a rule that just is dropping those packets. So there's a couple of different ways. I'm almost certain now that is the problem. I want to clear out that problem, and there's a couple of different ways to do it. I'm going to go the most, I think, appropriate way, which is to literally edit the configuration file that controls the software firewall settings. And that's located right here. And so I'm pulling that up, and this is a more compact summary of my firewall rules, and there I see is the rule in effect. And rather than just blatantly deleting it, I'm just going to go ahead and comment it out so it has no effect, but it serves as kind of built-in documentation to something that was previously there. So let me save this file and put those changes into effect. And again, there's a few different ways to do that. Here's my favorite way. Cool little command called iptables-restore. I'm going to read in the correct configuration. And let's see if this works now. I'm going to try to ping that address one more time. And lo and behold, now it's working. Okay, so very good. That was the solution to the first break-fix problem. Hopefully not too challenging. In fact, we did have a very high percentage of people who stopped by our booth there in the Red Hat Summit. Many people were able to find the solution to that problem. So that's cool. We're on a roll now. We've got 1 out of 4 done, and let's see if we can move on to the next one.